Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Happy.
No, come back. I'll be your friend.
I messed up the beginning.
It's okay.
Are we messing this up?
I think so.
We need to start again.
Yes. Okay.
Too many cringe moments already.
Yeah.
We just started.
What are we going to do today?
We're gonna see piggies.
Yeah,
Mini piggies.
Hey everyone, it's me, Jasmine again, and welcome to the best day of my life. Today I am here with
Anming from the Oriental Pearl channel. How's it going?
Anming. Has been living outside of the US for how many years?
It's been about 8 years. I came over in 2012.
I've been living outside of the US for about 6.5 years. During this time, both of us have picked up habits from different countries that have now become a part of who we are. So today we wanted to discuss being multicultural and living here in Japan, or more so outside of the US. But before we get into it, please do not forget to hit that like button. It really helps to grow this channel. Not only that, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button with the bell notification to know every time I release a new video. There are links in the description box for Oriental Pearl's channel.
Hey, thank you. We're gonna see one of those. I want one as a pet, but I don't want to clean up after it.
Alright. What habits do you think you picked up while outside of the US?
A lot of habits. I think my personality changed a lot coming over here. I used to be a very shy person, believe it or not, like back in the day, and I just opened up over here. But as far as things that I used to do that I don't do anymore, like it's hard for me to make eye contact with people because now compared to before. Yeah, I'm trying, but it's really forced. Because in America, you show that you're listening to someone by making eye contact, but in Japan you show that by back channeling, they call it, like going or nodding your head a lot. They don't make a lot of eye contact. That tends to make people uncomfortable, and I taught English and also was a student here for so long that I got in the habit of not making eye contact. Now it just feels really...
You're making me feel uncomfortable.
Sorry. I make myself feel uncomfortable with it too. So yeah, I stopped looking people in the eyes, and sometimes when I go home to America, they're like, hey, hey, you listening? And I am. It's just really hard for me to like look people in the eyes.
I think for me, one of the strongest habits that I picked up being in Japan for so long is the listening sounds.
Do you ever go,
yeah? Yes, I do that. I do
English?
that. Yes, I do that.
Oh boy.
Hey, cutie. Cutie. Both of them are going to her.
Why are they ignoring Jasmine? What the heck?
I found a way to get the pig to talk to me. When you're back in the US, what habits do you find yourself doing that you've picked up in China or Japan?
Food culture really set in for me. So now when I go back to the US, it's kind of hard to eat out with friends. I have to order meals on the really light side or just eat half of it because I got used to eating food here. Sometimes it will even upset my stomach to go back in the US and have a really heavy meal, so it can be kind of awkward to go out with family and eat, and I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm full really fast. So that changed.
This should be a light mocha flavor, and then this one is white chocolate.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think they're gonna notice if like one is missing?
Yeah, they're gonna notice. This guy's kind of big. Other things, interacting with people in the US, I go back about once a year. I'll go back for a month or two. It's quite a long time. I find that I'm not as direct as I used to be, and I'll talk to some of my friends and hear the way they talk, and just like, wow, that was a really bold statement, almost overemphasizing things rather than downplaying it like people in Japan will do, or people in China where I also live. They're like really you know, this is what I think. I like it, I hate it, it's good, it's bad. People really put their opinions out there, especially about politics, about religion, about this and that, and everybody, they wouldn't come off that way in Japan. They would play down their knowledge, like, I think it might be this way, maybe, in my opinion, whereas in America, they're like, I know it's this way. It's very confident, I'd say. You're not supposed to project too much confidence here. It makes people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, people change when they come over here. You know, talking to people is an art form. There's some skill to it.
Do you consider yourself an artist?
I didn't say that. Teaching 200 people English in 1 year as a conversation school teacher, yeah, you get to know how to talk to people, how to force the conversation, how to make them comfortable. As long as you come off as a nice person and aren't intimidating to people in the way you talk, then your chances of being rejected are low. Yep. I love flippers. This make pancakes.
Do people ever ask you why you behave a certain way?
Yes, they do, especially in the videos. They expect me to behave like Americans do in a Japanese environment, and I'm just not gonna be able to do that because it wouldn't work with the social norms here. So they don't understand how to socially interact in Japan. So yeah, a lot of people will make comments about my behavior. Cucumbers and beer. Yeah. Ooh, we have quite the little dumpling feast going on. You're filming me? Filming you? You still didn't take one home. That plan failed. We didn't even get one out the door.
When the place closes, I'll go back.
You're gonna break in and steal one. I'm sorry, Jasmine, I can't join you for that. I don't want to get deported over a pig. It's free place again.
Where do you feel the most comfortable? What country? What setting?
That totally depends on your job. Because, you know, if you have a job you don't like, you don't feel comfortable anywhere.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not so much the country, it's more what I'm doing. I really enjoyed being a student, like at grad school. I had two identities in Japan. I first came as a language teacher. Didn't like it that much. That sets the mood for the country, even though it shouldn't, because it's just your job. But I was like, it wasn't the best. I mean, it was fine, but I didn't enjoy my job, so it kind of brought me down a little. And then coming back here as a student, I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I was like super happy in Japan and just loved everything about it. It just changed everything about my life here. So to say, which country am I most comfortable in? I think I'm comfortable in all of them as long as I'm doing something that I like. Yeah, I got bored in Michigan. $50. How many pieces of chocolate do you get for $50? Not 50 pieces.
Who do you feel like you can most connect with? Like, do you feel like you most connect to Chinese people, Japanese people, American people? For the most part, many other expats that I talk to, they find it difficult to talk to their family and friends back in the States because they feel like they don't really know what's happening in this neighborhood or community anymore. And when they talk to their family or friends about like what's happening in the country that they're in, they feel like they're coming off as snobby.
Oh,
like this?
Yeah,
so,
I had this problem too.
So who do you feel like you can most connect to, or how do you cope with this? I don't even know what the correct term for this is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I got criticized about that too. And perhaps, yeah, I did have a bad attitude, especially back in 2005. I remember going back to the US and I was just all, China's so cool, China's the best. They have this, they have that. Then I studied more about Chinese politics when I went into school, and then that really changed my perspective on that. I was like, okay, the US is looking pretty good. It's a pretty good country, considering, our legal system and all that, compared to a lot of other countries that I've gone to. My dad still doesn't want to hear anything about China or anything about Japan. It's so difficult to have a conversation because at this point, it's not just a hobby or something I'm into. I lived here for 8 years. If you don't want to hear about anything that's happened in China and Japan, then I can't talk about the last 8 years. And yeah, they'll think, because my family doesn't travel, and that's fine. They're not into other countries or they don't speak other languages, that's fine. I'm not saying that makes you better than anyone else. It's just what I've been doing. And so to not talk about that stuff, and for him and some of my family, some of them, not all, for them to think, oh, that sounds snooty, or you're talking down to us, you think you're better than us, you think you're more cultured than us. That's definitely not how I wanted to come off, but there was a certain point where I think it did. Yeah, it just makes it really hard to try to walk on eggshells, to not sound like I'm bragging about, oh, I went here, I went there, I did this, I did that, I learned this, I learned that. But then how do you talk about your life normally?
That's my question.
It's really hard.
Yeah,
I haven't figured out how to do that well. That's why, one reason why I started the YouTube channel, because quite frankly, most of my family, especially my dad, don't want to hear about it. Not interested. Really enough. He told me straight up, I don't want to hear about China anymore. I don't want to hear about China. He didn't say that about Japan yet, but he did tell me, okay, no more about China, all right?
Yeah.
It's really hard. I would go back home and go to some of these family get-togethers and be silent for an hour.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I haven't been able to, I can't answer your question because I can't do it.
I am in the same boat. I'm trying to just keep quiet. That's the only thing I can do, is just keep quiet and then just let my family and my friends talk. I don't think they realize that I'm not divulging anything.
Have they complained to you about it before?
Yeah.
Same thing. What do they say?
Just because we're not traveling doesn't mean we're not also doing things. But that's not what my intention is. I feel like Japan is now part of my life. Traveling is part of my life. YouTube is part of my life. And so when I try to talk about these things, there's no way to talk about it really without someone feeling some kind of way.
I feel you on that one. I really do. I think expats, most of them, like you and I, we're not trying to say that, oh, we're better than everyone else, we have better lives than anyone else. In fact, I think it would be rather easy for most people, if they really wanted to, most Americans, they could go to another country. They really could. I recognize that a lot of people just aren't interested, or they'd rather go for a vacation, or maybe not even. It's not their thing, and that's totally fine. Being multicultural doesn't make you better than anyone else.
No.
That's not the idea here. Everybody has their own interests. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
This
is a common problem too that I keep coming across. I'm really trying to I want to be close with my family, but there's just a clear line that you do not want to cross because it's going to end in an argument or something. I see that you haven't found the answer. I haven't found the answer.
That's one of the sacrifices you take on when you move to another country. Yeah, it's a tough one though, because people don't always share your thinking.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, for anyone that's interested in coming to Japan, sometimes it's a long process. People often ask me about teaching English here or how they can get a visa here. It was a long process to get to the point where I could get an English teaching job here. Probably the easiest way, if you really want to come, well, at this point you can't get a tourist visa for 3 months to go to a language school, but you can still get into a language school and you don't need any qualifications or anything. You just sign up.
If you guys want to know how I came to Japan, when I first came here, I was living for free for
Wow.
3 to 4 months. If you would like to know how I did it, please look in the description box. When you sign up to my free email newsletter, you will receive a PDF with all of the resources that I use to get to Japan and live here for free. Yes, I was living here for free.
Lucky.
Yeah, a lot of the resources in that PDF are applicable to other countries as well, so please check that out. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
It was fun.
If you guys want to know how I make every day the best day of my life, please, again, check in the description box. There you'll find a link to my 30-day reflection, gratitude, and kick-assery journal. Every day for 30 days, I have a prompt for you to write about to get a bird's eye view of where you are in life and where you would like to go. There's also space for you to check your exercise, water intake, as well as my favorite quote, so please check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys again next time. Bye!
See you next time.